Society, a construct based on the past, a construct with an overload of information, hopes, expectations, and you're a part of it. You feel stressed out? No worries, so do we all. In addition to that, there's social media. A few relatively new platforms to connect, they say, but isn't it more like a marketing machine? All your dreams are just a reflection of what you've already consumed. You're wasting time on YouTube, Instagram, Netflix, listen to music, and scroll through 1,000 different websites. Not because you want to, but because you need to. Otherwise, it's impossible to stay up to date with everything that's going on. You might miss something. You might miss your life. But I haven't just accepted my fate. Health, wealth, love, happiness, personality, and freedom. Those are the grand topics I want to focus my time around. I listed everything I ever wanted to know, learn, and experience on one sheet of paper, independent of the opinions of others. This one time, I was completely honest to myself. Sadly, each of these points have at least 15 subpoints, and those again have subpoints, which means I have around about 220 things I want to do. No wonder I feel stressed out. Successful people like Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, or Jeff Bezos say that you should focus your time just on a few projects and commit to them fully. Of course, life is a little more complex to just commit to 6 things. I mean, we're brushing our teeth each morning, put on new clothes, and once in a while clean our house. And you do these things because they need to be done, because you see that if you don't do them, your health or hygiene would get really bad. Therefore, you act appropriate and do it even if you don't feel like it. But when it comes to fitness, for example, you have a choice. Do I want to work out today, or do I want to sleep a little longer? The majority of us will probably choose sleep over being in shape. And slowly but steadily, our body falls into a mood in which we don't even want to start anymore. We do have the choice between comfort or discomfort, success or an unsuccessful life. And hell yeah, we are aware of the consequences. But things that are 5 to 20 years ahead of us, why bothering getting out of bed for that? Life is good. No need for making it difficult. Still, these voices inside of me won't stop talking. So I chose 5 things which I've tried to implement in my life throughout the year. Let's get right into it. As I've said it 100 times in the live streams, I'm a night owl. I like to go to bed at 2 a.m, wake up at 10 to get my 8 hours of sleep. My current routine is that I'll work until 1 a.m, read for an hour, and then fall asleep. In the morning, I need around about 2 hours in which I just focus on me. That contains working out, showering, eating breakfast, and so on. Even if my daily routine just moved to a different time, being a night owl sometimes really sucks. I wake up after everyone has already started working. I'm ready at 12 p.m. when half of the day is over, and then I just begin? Sounds pretty bad for me. Also, working until 1 a.m. means that no one is awake at this time. That's often liberating knowing that no one is watching me. But it also has the pretty obvious downside. I need to get done with everything related to household and chores when I actually want to work. Since I'm more like an introvert, I can and will just work out when no one is around. Going for a run in the morning is one of the things I always wanted to do, but rarely did, because I woke up too late. So the first thing I want to become is an early bird instead of a night owl. I wake up at 6 to get 2 hours alone time in and start working at 8. Get my 10 to 12 hours of work in and rest afterwards. Sounds like a plan? Let's do it. The second thing I really like to improve is my workout schedule. I mean, so far I work out every day, but since I'm sitting most of the time, I even get 3,000 steps a day. I should really prioritize on my health. And here, by the way, we can see the problem I've mentioned earlier. We have a choice and often choose comfort over discomfort. So let's create a fitness plan, which I'll try to commit to. Alright, it seems like from now on, I'm living an active life. This routine is designed for me. It contains mostly exercises I want to be doing and those I find easiest to do. And there's this bad boy. Because I really hate going for runs. But hey, isn't life all getting out of your comfort zone? Also, the routine is made to become more and more difficult over time. I'll start with some basic exercises like a few hundred push-ups a day, stretching and cardio to create something like a habit. Later on, I'll add some weight training and calisthenics, which is something I wanted to do since years but never started. Because you know how it is, there are always excuses not to start. My brother and I have the goal to hike the Pacific Crest Trail, on the trail which is 2,650 miles long, from the border of Canada to Mexico, or other way around. Which is why my body should get used to walking again. Therefore, I need to do at least 10,000 steps a day Also, it is getting warmer and it just would be nice to be in better shape. Because you gotta live up to those fitness models. Point number 3 on my list is also kind of health related and probably the most important one on it. Inner peace. I'm currently working on 7 projects, while one of them would probably be enough to work on full time. I mean, I'm writing a book, managing 2 YouTube channels, studying physics, managing my finances, need to stay healthy, currently planning the longest and probably most difficult hike of my life with my brother. Therefore I gotta take care of visas and regulations, permits and so on. And what I'm currently trying to implement more, inner peace. And what am I currently doing to secure something like a work-life balance? Basically nothing. The only thing I've done towards keeping my inner peace would be reading books, growing a bonsai, which is a commitment of years and therefore a very nice method to stay calm and connected. But it's also a commitment of years, which means it can give me a long-term gratification, but nothing in the short term. So what can I do? The first thing I will be doing is meditation, each day for half an hour. Even if I currently can't even sit calm for 15 minutes, I'll try to hang in there because the habits I'm currently trying to implement are more like a momentum play, which means personal growth will not be happening overnight. Luckily, I trained myself already to be more patient, but just meditation won't do it. So I'll start journaling again. Again, because I journaled mostly in 2020 to help myself out of depression. But now I don't really like to do it because first of all, it's time consuming, and secondly, it actually forces me to deal with my shit, and therefore it's not a very pleasant thing to do. That's exactly why I should be doing it. For the next change, I need to tell you a little bit more about me. Due to school and research about the topic, I stumbled upon something which impacted my life dramatically. I've already felt kind of connected to nature and even wanted to become a marine biologist as a child. That was kind of my big dream, especially whales intrigued me. So I read about them and I was in complete shock. I've seen pictures of whale getting slaughtered, oceans drained in blood, and then my favorite animals were sliced apart. But my research didn't stop there. It continued with the fish industry, and later on, I moved on to the meat production, how male chickens are shred right after they hatch. I went over the whole meat industry, and all of that at the age of 10. The decision back then was more based on feelings than facts, but I still became a vegetarian. My meat-eating parents were in shock, my grandmas didn't know what to cook anymore, but since then, I don't regret my decision. It just made my life a little bit more complicated. I had to figure out what contains any sort of animal products. I learned about what's healthy and unhealthy. Luckily, I didn't really need to take care of my own food because, I was 10 years old. But over time, I figured that one out myself. Sadly, the past few years in which I actually provided for myself and cooked my own food, I forgot about nutrition. Furthermore, I became lazy when it comes to cooking and basically ate the same for each and every breakfast, which is oatmeal and oat milk. Don't get me wrong, I somehow love that stuff, but I could be doing better. At least lunch and dinner should be healthier, but that sometimes just contains of various pasta, rice, or bread, which is not very impressive and one-sided. So let's change that. Since I forgot most about nutrition, how to cook, what is healthy, and so on, I will first do some research about health overall and revive old forgotten knowledge. That shouldn't be too complicated when you see what's next on my list. Another thing I could change is food prepping. Since the space in my refrigerator is kind of limited due to my roommates I have to share it with, I can't really do it as much as I want to do it, but I can at least plan what I eat each day. My goal is to plan 10 dishes in advance based on the information I learned about food while researching about the topic. Something which also improves my productivity and wallet, because I'm therefore just buying the most important groceries and never ever have to think about what I'll eat tonight. Knowledge is power and silence my best friend. And that is true. Bill Gates, the current 4th richest man on their planet, can read up to 150 pages in just 1 hour with 90% retention. That is unbelievable. He once said in an interview after the journalist asked him, if you could pick any superpower, what would it be? Gates answered, being able to read super fast. Surprisingly, the successful investor and a close friend of Bill, Warren Buffett, said the same thing. Why is that? Because information is the most valuable commodity out there. There's the saying, all leaders are readers, but not all readers are leaders. But even if you won't be a leader, you still will be super freaking smart. and that's worth it. So my next point on this journey is gaining more knowledge. Therefore, I set myself the New Year's resolution of reading 52 books in 52 weeks, so 1 book a week. This is definitely possible. So far I've read 4, which means I'm a few books behind, and those books were not even educational ones. It was science fiction and fantasy, which I really enjoy reading, but probably won't be helping me in the future. This is why this point will be the first one out of the ones I've listed, which I try to implement in my life. For example, I plan to read 7 books in 7 days, while 6 out of them have to serve an educational purpose. I will read 1 book about skill set, 1 about mindset, 1 about psychology, 1 about personal finance, 1 about science. The 6th one is supposed to be about health, and as I said, the last one will be a novel. You can watch me doing that on my second channel, Not Just Someone Live. The link therefore is in the video description. There's just one slight problem about this whole improvement thingy. Change does not happen in a matter of seconds, neither in a matter of days, weeks. Sometimes it takes months, sometimes even years and decades until you see a slight change. It all depends on what you're trying to do. For example, does evolution happen over hundreds and thousands of years? But if we just look back 50 years, humanity changed so much, also did our planet. In other words, by Lenin, there are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. Let's make these next few weeks, months, and years the ones in which we improve, so that when we look back to this exact moment in which we decided to become our best, better version, to become not just someone, we're grateful that we took the appropriate steps in direction of this journey. Let's also be patient, because this journey is long, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't take the first step. I'll focus on health, wealth, love, happiness, personality, and freedom, and all the subpoints to them. What is your move? Go subscribe and leave a like. See you soon.